Yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy Fanatic, and I am back with another schedule preview. It's been a while since I've done one of these. If you guys don't know what's going on right now, I said I was going to be doing 2 weeks, of SEC, basically all Power 5 conferences. I decided to change my mind and just kind of upload randomly. I'm still going to upload college football, and I'm still trying to upload every day, but it's going to be a little bit more random by the varying content that I'm going to upload. There will be a couple more schedule previews for the season starts, on some big teams, maybe 10 more schedule previews for the 2019 season starts. But today we are doing Texas. Texas has a lot of hype surrounding its program. They went 9-3 last year. Of course, lost the Big 12 championship game, but they were victorious over Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. That's where I think most of this hype is kind of coming from. So let's see if they can fulfill the hype this season and maybe even make college football playoff. So starting off the year, Texas is at home against Louisiana Tech. I think this is pretty clear who's going to come out victorious in this game. Texas is the much better team in every category, so I think Texas is going to start off the year strong. They may have some nerves early on, so it may not be a total and complete destruction of Louisiana Tech, basically, but for the first half or so. But I do think Texas will win comfortably in this game. Moving on to LSU, they are at home again for this game. This is a huge game for them. They beat Georgia last year in the Sugar Bowl. Now another big SEC game. There's a lot of hype surrounding both Texas and LSU, so this is a big game for both programs. This is kind of the game where people are going to see if Texas is really back or not, so this is a huge game for them. I think Texas is going to win for one main reason. One, it's at home. I think it's going to be a close game down to the very end. I think Sam Ehlinger is going to have to make a big-time play, and he's going to have to really bring his A game, which I think he will. He usually delivers in pressure situations. So that's why I'm going to give LSU the loss against Texas, as Texas heads 2-0 on the year after a huge victory, by a touchdown, basically, over LSU. Around 31-24, I think, would be the right prediction if I had to make a specific prediction. So Texas heads on the road first time against Rice. It's kind of a weird game to open up on the road against another just kind of cupcake game, pretty much a nothing game. But obviously I think Texas is going to beat Rice. There's really no chance that I think Texas is going to go down to a team like Rice. It's just not going to happen, so I think Texas is going to blow out Rice even worse than they blew out Louisiana Tech, because there's not going to be that nerves there for the first half. So they open up in Big 12 play against one of the teams that they actually got upset by last year in Oklahoma State. I think they lost 38-35 to them last year. I think they're coming to this game with a vengeance. They're going to want to get revenge for last year, because Oklahoma State kind of held them back, and that was a huge, devastating loss for Texas last year. So I think they're going to come in this game with revenge on their mind, and I think they're going to get the revenge that they desire against Oklahoma State, 48-24. As Texas heads 4-0 on the year. So they head back on the road to face West Virginia, not Western Virginia. And I think that Western Virginia might not get the best of Texas. I think they're going to catch Texas looking ahead at Oklahoma and coming off of a win against Oklahoma State. So this might be a win for Western Virginia. Why do I keep on saying West Virginia, or Western Virginia? It's West Virginia. I've never had that happen before. It's just occurring in this video. But I do think Texas is going to find a way to sneak out with the win barely. It's going to be an ugly win. Sam Ehlinger might throw some picks, and it'll be a rough game for Texas. But in the end, I think great teams find a way to get out wins. It's just a roster game. It's where you have to lean on your roster, where your team probably should lose, but somehow finds a way to win. And I think this is going to be that game for Texas, as they win 27-23 against West Virginia. So I just realized I think Texas might be at home against Rice. I'm trying to figure it out. I think they might actually be at home against Rice. I think they might be. Yeah, they very well might be. If I'm wrong, it doesn't really matter. I think they win either way. So Texas heads back home to face Oklahoma in the biggest game of the year. Oklahoma is going to be looking for vengeance. Last season, Texas upset Oklahoma on the road, I believe 48-45, in kind of a program-defining victory for the Longhorns. So this is a very interesting game and a very hard game to predict just for me. There will be a lot of points in my opinion. I don't think they'll crack 100, but they'll get really close to it, I think. This is a really hard game to predict. I think I would lean towards Oklahoma, though, by less than a touchdown, maybe even less than 3 points. It'll be an insanely close game between these two teams. But I think Oklahoma's going to look for vengeance from last season, and Texas is going to get knocked off here at home in a heartbreaking loss against Oklahoma. But there will be silver lining later on in the year for Texas. Just stay patient, Texas fans. So they stay at home to face Kansas. I don't get why on the schedule it says sometimes verse, sometimes nothing. Maybe that's a neutral site game. I'm pretty sure that game isn't neutral site, though. But let's just keep on going here. They're against Kansas. I'm probably going to just give them the easy win here. I think it might be a slow first half because Texas is going to be reeling off that rough loss against Oklahoma. But I do think that they're going to find a way to get the win. They'll blow them out in the second half. Texas is clearly the better team than Kansas. Even though Kansas does have less miles, I'm afraid that eating grass isn't going to help Kansas, and specifically less miles against a far elite team in the Texas Longhorns. So, Texas against another Texas team goes back on the road to face TCU. I feel like this is another game that is going to get close to cracking 100. Both these teams rely heavily on offense. So I think it should be a very, very interesting game here. They might catch Texas looking ahead, but I do think Texas is going to bring about their B-plus game, which should be just enough to defeat a team like TCU. TCU was actually pretty good a couple years ago, but they haven't been good in a year or two, and I don't think it'll be any different this year personally. So I am going to give Texas the win here. It should be a one-possession game, though, I think. So they are against Kansas State coming off of a bye. I think they're going to bring their A game here. I think Kansas State will actually put up a decent fight. Kansas State is an underrated team, in my opinion. They're just a solid team that can compete with not the highest tier, but higher tier teams. They're not going to beat a team like Texas, but it won't be a total and complete blowout. I think that's just kind of what the type of team that Kansas State is. But I am going to give Texas the win against Kansas State. I don't think they have what it takes to get it done. So I think this has the potential to be another loss for Texas. They're on the road against Iowa State. I think a team that is very, very good this season. Not great, not on the level of Texas or Oklahoma, but they could catch Texas reeling and on the road. So this is a very, very possible loss for Texas. I think next to Oklahoma and LSU, this is certainly the most likely game that they will lose this season. I am going to give Texas the benefit of the doubt because this is kind of a must-win for them. If they want to make the playoffs and fulfill the hype that is surrounding them this season, they have to have this win, and I think they're going to find a way to get it. I think it'll be a close game, one-possession game, another game where Sam Ehlinger is going to have to make a big play or two in order for Texas to come out victorious, but I think he'll get that done. So they stay on the road to face Baylor. I think Baylor's offense could make this kind of an entertaining game, but for the most part, Texas is just kind of going to dominate Baylor. I mean, I just don't see a path where Baylor could come out victorious in this game. I think this is going to be another win added on to Texas's win total. So, on to the last game of the season. This might not be on the schedule you see on your screen. I apologize for that. But tell me if you guys like the new setup, just kind of the full schedule at once, or do you guys like the helmets? I know this is definitely easier for me, but if you guys want it to go back to the old way, I'll be more than happy to do that. But Texas Tech to end off the year, I think Texas is going to win this game. I think it'll be closer than most people think, just because Texas Tech has a pretty good offense, and I'm not sure Texas's defense is going to be able to handle Texas Tech's air raid style offense. I do think Texas is going to come out with the win, though, but I think this game probably will end up with over 100 points. It'll be offense after offense after offense, which is kind of the formula that the Big 12 goes by. But I am going to give Texas kind of a close win, maybe one possession, maybe two, but no matter what, Texas, I think, gets the win here. And in my opinion, I think in the Big 12 championship, it'll be Oklahoma and Texas in a rematch from last year and a rematch from this year. And Texas, I think, will probably beat Oklahoma there, which will send them to the playoffs. So I think that Texas will fulfill the hype that is surrounding them. I'm a big believer in Texas, and especially Sam Ehlinger. And their coach, I think, has done great things for the Texas program, and he'll take them to new heights, not just this year, but in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys are Texas fans and you guys think that you won't fulfill the hype, please let me know down in the comments below. Or if you're just any fan and don't think Texas is as good as I say they are. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have an amazing day. Check out my other schedule previews and just all my other videos in general. If you are big college football fans, make sure to hit that big subscribe button. I'm rambling, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video, and I still haven't ended it yet, and peace.